What's going on, YouTube? I know it's been a while. I know you guys miss me because I miss you. I just want to start off by apologizing, okay? Because I've been very inconsistent on this channel. I am consistent on one channel, and I'm going to leave that in the description below, or I'm going to leave it in the video right here for y'all to go ahead and, do your thing. Guys, let me just start by saying this. The main reason I have not been posting on this channel is because one of the videos that I got was copyrighted, or that I reacted to. And to be honest, I know reactions aren't original content. I much prefer making original content, which is why I started uploading gaming videos on my other channel. So, yes, I can make the universal laws content. I can also do all these different ideas. However, it takes time, y'all. I got a life. I got a job. It's kind of just easy to just flow playing the game. It's also like a meditation session for me to just kind of, woosah. And I enjoy editing. But with these videos, I think it's just more so of like just watching what I say, putting the thought together and making sure that it's presentable enough for you guys to watch. Let me just start off by saying the reason I want to do the law of detachment is because that's what I've been doing. Since I moved in August into my new spot, I've practiced this way of just, kind of isolating myself away from certain people in my life. And I mean this in the most nicest way possible. It's not you, it's me. It has nothing to do with what you're doing. Well, not necessarily like in a personal way, because nobody's perfect. I do feel like I had to detach myself from certain energies in my life that were no longer serving me. Meaning that you could be a great person. However, if I can't make out a certain conversation with you, or if we cannot address certain things that's currently happening in reality, instead we're living in a fake facade, then maybe I've distanced myself a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just because I feel like me even speaking like this was it's just too much sometimes for somebody. A lot of times people have an image of what someone that thinks like me should look like. Oh, I'm gonna be doing this and have 10,000 crystals in my room and all type of stuff. And a lot of time that's just the aesthetic. You're moving with aesthetic and a look, not actually with a thoughtful, meaning behind the actions that you're basically having. The way I was raised and the way I grew up, I've always been a certain way, and I've always had to observe behaviors enough to know who was for me and who wasn't. And majority of the time, I wasn't for everyone. That's really what it was. I see something odd, I'm gonna speak up on it. At the same time, I'm a great friend. I'm a great person. I enjoy being around people. However, as of late in this society, is that so much to say like my main priority? No. People gotta understand that when reality hits, I like to confide in self. A lot of times people confide in other people, try to figure things out with other, relationship, mom, dad, whoever. In the end, I got me, and in the beginning, I had me. So I have to continue to have me. And sometimes I need to isolate and remember who's important here, because naturally I'm gonna make everyone in my life a priority, and that's not okay for my mental. Sometimes I need to sit back and realize, do for you. So yes, since I've been moving, I've isolated myself. I put myself in a predicament to no longer depend on the comfortability of other people, and it's been great. I love it. I love it here. And I've naturally always been that type of person. But over the years, living in the city and being around people forcefully, being at a job or whatever, you're kind of just taught or self-taught to, interact with others. And in order to interact with others, you got to continue to be around others. Everyone's going to look at you like you're that one girl or that one guy. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm sure I'm that one girl in many people books. And here's the thing about me. A lot of people say they don't care. I don't care. I'm willing to lose whatever, not willingly, but I'm willing to, let things depart. I wouldn't say willing to lose everything, but I'm willing to let things depart if it's no longer good to be at my station. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and transcend into something new. Do you, as well as I'm always going to do me. When I'm speaking on this, like I said, none of this is personal, but the reason I'm speaking on detachment is because when I say these things, people assume that I just gave up on humanity, friends, family, whatever. And that's not the case. I just remember that I was put here to work on my soul. You know what I'm saying? In the process, be great to people. Be nice. Treat people how you want to be treated. But also, don't forget about your own needs and your own wants and your own, and that's just how I feel. I feel like, in the last few years or whatever, maybe I've gotten distracted in situation or certain friendships or whatever. And I lacked accountability to say, yo, go sit back. You know what I'm saying? You're doing too much. Go take care of you now before it's too late. And it's not too late. So I, took my time and I did what I had to do. I basically had to figure out like all these things about myself again. I'm like, the inner kid in me never died. I love doing gaming videos. I love making YouTube content. I love doing certain things that I kind of just pushed on the back burner because I was so focused on everything and everyone else in my life. And, with a job, that is very possible to do. Take a week or a month or whatever, how much time you have, even if it doesn't seem like you have time, the time that you use to basically go watch a movie, use that time to like sit back and really just reflect and say, what are my true hobbies? What are some things that I've always wanted to do and I've never had the chance to do it? Because number one, I didn't have the support, I didn't have the courage, or I feel like my job was overtaking, or my friend or my relationship was overtaking my life. I kind of sat back and I realized I used to love pottery. I used to love drawing. I used to love making videos. Editing, for the most part, is what I mainly love about videos. I've always been an editor. Like, I don't know. I love making songs and beats and all type of stuff. And had I not ignored everyone else and just kind of said, hey friends, I'm sorry, I need to be, deuces real quick, I probably wouldn't have been this like content in my life. Now it's like work kind of feels less stressful because it's more so of like I'm just going in, but at the same time, not many people are blessed enough to say they can come home and get on their PC and start recording videos. Not many people are blessed enough to say they have the courage to do it, because you can have the equipment, you can have the time, but many people don't have the drive and the ambition to be consistent. I kind of just want to say, like, this is something I think people need to speak on more. It's okay to take time for self and isolate, even when it comes to having a pet. If you feel like your pet's overwhelming you, even though I love pets, but if you're a person that feels like life is overtaking you, go ahead, get you somebody that could watch your dog for a week. Get you a nice little cabin out in the woods. Get you a nice little, villa out on the beach or whatever. And just go out there and do some self-reflection. And be like, how can I think of ways to make it permanent? How can I go back home and make this feeling never end? I used to be like, money can't buy happiness. What you mean it can't buy happiness? We can buy the tools and the things and the essentials we need for, or, temporary happiness. But that's why we have to figure out a way to make it permanent. What can we do to make this feeling never go away? Lock in with your inner childhood. Make sure you remember why, you enjoyed this feeling 10 years ago. Make sure that you can find ways to keep it going to where it doesn't feel like a job, or where it doesn't feel like it's just like obligated for you to be a certain way and do certain things. And I think that obligation comes from just being around people too long. That's why it's important to study the law of detachment. You need to learn that it's okay for your friends to let you do you kind of, and not having to give all this explanation. You could say, yo, like, this is me, this is how I am. And your friend can either choose to ignore what you're saying and have an image of what they feel you should be, or just accept it and know that it's coming from a good place and it's not personal. I love you, but at the same time, I gotta do for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can have a friend for 10 years and you're around your friend for 10 years every single day. That means that you spent more time with your friend than you have by yourself for those 10 years. If you can get where I'm going with that, like, spend more time with self than others, because you will have others' thoughts controlling yours, and then you think that your own ideas are yours the whole time it's somebody else's. That's why I think a lot of people, after a relationship, after a friendship, or after a job, they're like, what am I supposed to do? What is the goal here? What is the next move? What is my journey? Because you spent so much time on the wrong thing. It didn't benefit you. So why are you afraid to look at yourself I think sometimes people are afraid to look in the mirror and say, I'm the problem. Because had you do that, the first step is accountability. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the problem because I'm allowing people to treat me like this. I'm allowing people to have access to me in a way where they can continue to disrespect me. I'm allowing this job to treat me like shit. Whole time I could go find a better one. You know what I'm saying? No matter how long that better job take, you know you're willing to wait. You know you're willing to wait. You know what I'm saying? Like, they are able to see what you're able to provide by just looking at your image, hearing you out for that one interview. Now because you believe in yourself, they believe in you too. The law of detachment teach you that when you're around somebody, you become dependent. You can't go to the grocery store, so you hit up like, hey, can you get this for me? Can you do this for me? Because you're so used to that. No, force yourself to figure it out. I promise you, your survival instincts will be on some you're like, man, I already got the solution. I don't even need that. No disrespect. I appreciate it, but I'll hit you when I really need you, not because I want you. You get it? I love my own company. I love hearing my own thoughts. I have so much things on my mind daily. I'm not able to talk about them around other people. Sometimes it's okay to sit in your room and listen to your thoughts and listen and process what you need to do next. You may have great ideas, and then when you're around people, you shut them down because you're like, I'm afraid to do them around other people. You get it? Like, don't let your thoughts of wanting to depend on somebody else or making others feel like they need you to distract you from your common goal, or the common goal, which is to find self. You know what I'm saying? But that's why it's important to study the law of detachment, because you know it's not personal. However, if others don't see that, they're going to always think you're on their bad side. They're always going to think you're against their ideas, who they are. I love your ideas enough so much that I know I'm not going to involve myself because I'm not as passionate as you. So you handle that, okay? And I'm going to go over here and do what I need to do to make sure that I can fulfill my parts of my, my needs and my wants. People that are in relationships, people that are comfortable being around other people. I'm not knocking that down at all. That's also important, to be around other minds, because, I'm not saying I don't be around people at all. I talk to people daily. It just means that I'm not yearning to go speak with somebody. I don't always, first thing I do is go hang out with blah, blah, blah. And maybe people can say that's selfish, but maybe it is. Maybe it's selfish to want to put yourself first. I don't know. Love is just knowing that I trust your ideas, growing together. I'm happy of the person that you are and to become. What can I do as your friend to make you become better? Or what can you do as a friend to teach me how to be better? Like, I don't understand why we got all these extra steps. If I don't go to the club with you tomorrow, that means I'm not your friend no more. If I don't come to your birthday party, we're not friends. I had to mature myself, because in the past I used to think when people didn't do things, it's because they didn't care. I thought like, they're not putting me first. I mean, why should they? What I'm giving out, they might not give back, and I have to accept that. Not everybody's the same. I know it's a lot of people that I have not talked to in a while. I know it's some people that have scheduled to do things with me, and I'm just over here uploading, going to work, doing my own thing, and maybe I've addressed this and maybe I have not, because I feel like it takes this long of a video to really explain what I'm trying to say. Do you guys understand the law of detachment? Do you understand that all this material stuff doesn't matter? It's not going to go with you in your casket. If none of this is going to pass on with you. Maybe people can stop depending so much. Maybe we could unify. Depending on something and unifying is two different things. Maybe we could unify on the same conscience and the same mindsets to say, this is unnecessary. Get what I'm saying? If you don't, you don't. But y'all, this version of the universal laws, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little disorganized, because I feel like I just come on here and speak on the top of my dome. I mean, it's not much to really just go research about. And the other ones that I spoke on, karma and reincarnation, it's not that I had to research any of these. I want it to be presentable enough for y'all to understand. This episode is pretty transparent. It's not much that you need to understand. Hear the words that I'm saying. And listen, you don't need to be around Sheila all day. You really don't. You think because you love this person that you have to constantly prove that you love them. Different services and different ways to do it is proving that you love the person, not being all up in their skin. You can still go over here and do your hobbies, like going to fish for hours and hours out the day, and still call your loved one. It's okay. We got years on this earth, not months and weeks. Why do y'all act like it's a ticking time bomb, like y'all don't got till tomorrow? And some people don't, but you shouldn't think like that. Live every day like it should last. So they need to go do what they do, and I need to do what I do, and then we come back and unify in the middle at some point. You feel me? Like, that don't mean go mess with this person and do this with this person. Like, it's all about energy too. People feel like they need a leash to not cheat. They need a reason to not explore other partners. I still think you could be single in the talking stage. You don't need to talk to 10 different people to see if this person's wrong or right for you. You know off bat if this person is wrong or right for you. So we need to stop making excuses to make rosters and all these other things. Y'all know off bat first day if somebody's energy is for you. You feel it. If you can't listen to what they're saying and acknowledge it, then one thing you can do is feel it. Naturally, sometimes you come around somebody, you like, I feel like I know you forever, I feel comfortable, 2 days later, they toxic. Then you ignore it because you're stuck on that yesterday's feeling. They feel comfortable. I feel like I've known them forever. Well, that could be a karmic partner. You can't just ignore a feeling. Everything that feels off is a red flag. Check out what it is that's making you feel like it. If it's serious enough, then do what you need to do. Make it be aware. You know, if the thing doesn't change, then do what you gotta do. Do what's best for you. Everybody should be doing what's best for them. Like I said, that does not mean that you give up on this person and give up on that person. That's not what I'm saying. So choose accordingly. That's it. And it's not too late to making a decision. I don't know who put norms on to when it's okay to get into a relationship, when it's okay to get married, when it's okay to break up. I could get married day 2 if I felt like it. What you about to do? It's not your marriage, so why do you care? I could do whatever I want to do, because truly that's how I feel. If I meet my reflection and my match, we're getting married immediately. Let's lock this down, because at this point we saw eye to eye to know we could work this out. We could figure life out together. I don't need 10 months to 10 years to figure that out. I'm just playing with you. I'm playing around because I'm trying to pass time. That's it. Maybe it's something that you're giving to me that's resourceful. Maybe it's an emotional connection that I want in the time being, but I know it's not gonna last forever. So I'm just dragging you on while I don't know what I want. Love detachment is important because you won't feel these things at all. But yeah, y'all, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure you hit the subscription button and turn your post notifications on. And make sure to go in the description to check out the other channel, which is Vibing with Kia. But yeah, peace. If you got time.